Okay, this is just general tips and tricks. One of my first tips is in my colorants, I use 2 little screws, 1 or 2. These are screws that I have left over out of computers. The old style computers, you know, if you ever built them yourself, you end up with a million of these. So I have some of these are stainless steel. I would prefer BBs, but I couldn't find any. So I just throw one of these screws in there. And then when it comes time to mix up my colorant, see if we can hear it. You can see, hopefully, see the solid on the bottom? That's the colorant, and all the other is liquid. You can see it really good now. So now the screw just broke loose. If I was going to use BBs, I'd stick 2 in there. But see, how long did that take? A few seconds, colorant's gone. It's all mixed up, just like that, boom. So first thing I do is I put 2 in all my bottles. I don't cut the top, I don't snip it off, okay, because this stuff comes out. So what I do, this takes a little practice, is I have these like crafting scissors, and you have to mess with this a little bit. But I kind of get a rough idea on the bottle, so this one I'm going to line up with this line. And what I do is I just take my scissors, I poke a hole, and then I turn it 90, and I poke another hole to make like an X in the top. Then when I go to get a drop out, I get a drop, not half a bottle. See? Boom, just like that, 1 drop. Makes it so much easier to measure. You won't make any mistakes, you won't waste a whole bunch. For your alignment pins, take your mold, take a drill bit, and just, you can go in, let's see if I can find a problem. Show you how easy this works here. Okay, here's a mold. I haven't even done the top yet. So this is how I literally pull the mold out, just like this. It's all nice and smooth. Okay, now I'm going to look for a space. This is a simple bait. I'm going to try this mold as a hand pour because it's real big. There's no details to it to speak of. So I think a hand pour will work. So I'm going to do a hand pour from the top down. I want the liquid to fill in, so I'm going to cut my holes here, hand pour holes. So that means I can put my dowels anywhere. So what I'll do is take my drill bit and just do like this. You don't have to drill the china. That's it. You just need a little, that's all you need. Take and do that in 2 to 3 places. On the long molds, I definitely like to do it in 3, 2 at the top, 1 at the bottom. And you don't really want them deep because they'll break off easier. So you just need a little something. That's it right there. Boom, done. My next trick, when I go to do my injection hole, I do the same thing. Now you're going to pull this out and you're going to have this in there. So you pull this out and the hole's going to be too small. So I take a big drill bit. I just drill it right in there. It drills right out just by, I do it by hand. I don't even use a machine gun or anything. Then to make the hole bigger, I just put it at an angle and I just work it around. If you had a bigger drill bit would be great. But if you had X-Acto knife or anything like that, this stuff works so easy. And then I just keep doing that until I know my nozzle fits. See, on this my plastic's going to go in the middle and shoot down. It doesn't have to go in the ends. You know, if you're working with pop molds, you may not have that luxury. So you can put your sprue runner anywhere you want. Really. This seems to be working pretty good. And again, another trick. You know, I put my sprue runner on the top instead of on the ends. So I can set it on something and inject it from the top down. It's much easier to work with. If you can't tell a temperature difference, you know, if it feels like it's basically warm or there's just not much of a feeling, it's definitely dried thoroughly. If you grab it and it's cold, it's not dry yet. It needs more time. I don't seal my molds until they're completely dry. It's significantly easier to keep a large amount of plastic hot. You know, it holds its own heat. So if I'm going to shoot baits, I get several molds out and I use, I don't just use a little, I'll get like 2 cups and I'll do 2 cups worth of this. This will stay hot. I can literally shoot bait several times before I have to reheat my plastic. I also don't let it get solid. You can tell when it starts to cool off, it starts to thicken up. At that point, I reheat it before it has a chance to cool off. When you're doing that, your injector will stay hot. It'll actually get so hot you can't even hold on to it. You have to use gloves. But you can shoot all your baits for that color at the same time, and it's a lot faster. You don't have to heat your plastic up as much, and you produce a lot more baits at the same time. You know, save your leftover sprue. If you don't want to use more than one reheat on a bait for some reason, then don't, but save your sprue to do test runs with different molds or injection processes or whatever. I've injected this plastic probably half a dozen times at least. I've done it on the craw molds, I've done the lizard, I've done these worms. I've hand poured several of my other molds several times, trying different sealing techniques. So it's been poured and poured and poured, and it's fine. Obviously, I mean that is the last pour that I did, and it's in excellent shape. Okay, more hints, tricks here. Well, I knew there was a lot more to show you. I should have made a list. But I guess we'll call that good for now.